Welcome to She Sells Radio. And I just have to say, I am so excited about today's conversation because if you know me at all, you know I love making video content. And maybe that's how you first connected with the podcast too. Maybe not, but you never know. And it's been part of why I love video is it's been one of the biggest drivers of leads for multiple businesses that I've run over the past 6 years. And, I love creating videos. I do a daily live stream. If you haven't caught the Morning Sales Supercharge, you should definitely catch it. But I've never spent a lot of time actually studying YouTube growth strategy and optimizing what we're doing, which for me is one of the places I know I want to focus next to keep growing my brand. And I also know that so many members of our She Sells community care about that too and want to learn and grow all things YouTube as well. And so my guests today are absolute YouTube growth experts, and they're going to be sharing with you how video marketing changed their lives and their businesses. And we're going to also talk about how to get your first 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which I am here for. I'm excited for. I've got my notebook with me on this one, so I'm going to be taking notes, and I encourage you to do the same. So let me tell you a little bit about my guests. And this show is actually fun too, because we have two guests with us today. So Amber Lykins is an entrepreneur who's spent a decade in the beauty industry, growing her business the hard way. And we can all relate to that, right? I know I did that for a long time, chasing prospects around, trying to convince them they needed her product and getting blocked on social media, all the not fun things. And so at her breaking point, she was introduced to YouTube, began producing super simple videos just designed to educate women of all ages on cosmetics and skincare routines. And her video content has generated so much success that she co-founded the Create Content Academy with the goal to teach the same strategies and skills to beauty entrepreneurs across the map. And then our other guest, Olivia Heyward, is the owner of OH Creative Boutique. It has nearly 12 years of experience as a brand designer. And her background in graphic design and brand development provide a really fresh perspective, not just from like a design aspect, but from branding strategy as well. And she's super passionate about helping female entrepreneurs create an authentic brand, which I am all here for as well, and to develop strategies to launch or expand their business. And here's what's cool too, and I want to know more of the backstory of how you two connected when we get into it in a second, but with her brand experience, she was able to help Amber grow her brand exponentially using video content. And so now they are on a mission to help more women do the same. So Amber and Olivia, we are so excited to have you on She Sells Radio today. Welcome.
Oh my goodness, we're excited.
I know, so excited to be here. So excited to talk with your community and talk with you today. So it's going to be awesome.
It is. And if you're listening to the podcast, you got to go check out the video of this one on YouTube, because they have the coolest backdrop, and it's like already you're so on brand with how you're presenting yourselves. And I love it. So go check out the video of this one for sure. So, okay, like I said, when I was introducing both of you, this is kind of fun to have two guests. Well, it's really fun to have two guests on the show. And I don't know that I've ever had two guests on at the same time before. So I want to know more about both of you. And I want to know specifically, like, how did you two initially connect? Because it sounds like it was through the power of video or helping each other with video. And so I want to know a little of the backstory of your business partnership and how this came to be.
Oh, yes. This is really good. All right, let's get the juice flowing. Are y'all ready? All right, pop your kombucha. Let's go.
By the way, I just have to say, we both just realized we're in North Carolina, because you're hearing the accents and you're like, they have the best Southern accents. Where are they? And we're in North Carolina together, which is fun. So go ahead. Okay, pop the kombucha. Let's go. I'm just really excited that we're close together.
I had this phone call, and I was asked to come to a bridal store to meet women, right? To help greet these brides coming in, picking out their bridal gowns. Well, it really aligned with what I did for business, because as a makeup artist, I'm like, that is amazing. Oh my goodness, I can have these great clients in bridal parties. And I was like, jackpot, I'm down, whatever I need to do. Well, lo and behold, I didn't know my life was going to change just walking in those doors. So Olivia was running this bridal store, and a couple of weeks went by before she really found out what I did. And we really had deeper conversations, right? Because you're kind of in work mode. And so she asked some questions about what I did for work. And I was like, yes, this is the product I sell. I sell cosmetics. And she was like, okay, great. Well, have you branded yourself? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. So no, but I sell this brand. And she's like, no way. No, that's not what you need to do. You need to brand who you are, because no matter what Amber does, people will follow Amber, for what you do. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. And so that just opened up my mind a little bit to go like, oh, okay, I need to like really do something more for my business. Because if this company that I was selling their cosmetics went away, there would go my business. It would be gone. And so the second question she asked was like, have you thought about being on YouTube? And that right there, I was like, you are too out of your way of asking me that right now. There are too many people on YouTube doing amazing jobs. I will watch them and learn from them and keep moving, because I cannot do that. She's like, no, you can. And I'm like, no, there's people, it's too saturated. People are doing so much beauty on YouTube. I don't need to be there.
This was what, like, how, I'm just for context, how long ago was this?
Yeah.
This was 2017.
We met in 2016,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
this conversation I think happened in 16, but nothing really came about until years later.
Yeah, in 2017, 2018, we really started getting it off the ground. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which
But I
can,
just
yeah,
thought-
go ahead.
I thought it was crazy, and that is something I'm sure a listener is thinking right now, like, you know what, you're right. There's too many people doing videos right now. Why me? And Olivia said something that changed the whole game for me. She was like, well, Amber's not out there and people are waiting for Amber to show up. And I was like, oh, girl, you just hit me at my core. I was like, you're right.
Video
so it
guru
took
over here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it just changed my whole perspective on, I do have a voice and I am different. So people will like me. My clients like me locally. And this just will allow my business to grow, obviously, exponentially using video content. And it intrigued me. I was really excited to figure it all out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And so you two, then did you kind of partner together on creating video content for your makeup brand, and tell us about like what happened?
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
So after that, I had asked the question, do you think about YouTube? And she literally told me no. And I was like, okay. But then I guess she went home and thought about it, and she was like, wait a minute. And so one of the things that I told her when I asked her, was she branding herself? Because I think it's super important, since I had worked with a ton of women entrepreneurs, and I was like, do you have your own website? Like, how are you branding yourself? Yes, I know you have this product, you sell this product, but there's so much more to a person than just the product they sell, and how you can impact your community and impact your customers and future customers. So what are you doing to do that? And so one of the first things that we did was create her website. So we created her website. That's my background was in brand design. So we created a website, and then from there we started to build her brand on YouTube. So first I built a brand for her. So just all of the things, picking colors and logos and all of those types of things. We worked on that first. And then we stepped into YouTube. And at first it was something very new for her. And so we just kind of dived in, and for the first, 6 to 8 months, she put out about a video a month. And I'm an analytics girl. So I'm always in the back of her YouTube channel, like looking at analytics. And I was like, this is not going to work. One video a month. Like, people are really loving your content, but it's not consistent enough. So, we had a conversation. We're like, okay, if you really want to do this. Oh, I think before we had the conversation, this is the first thing that happened to us before we had the conversation, is that after just her inconsistently putting out content about once a month or so, we started to meet people who recognized her and recognized us or whatever. We went to some company events, and they were like, oh my gosh, are y'all the blush babes from YouTube? And we're like, what? What are you talking about?
That had to be crazy the first time that happened. Like, wait,
so
who are you?
I know. So it was the first time that we met like 3 or 4 women who had knew her from YouTube, and we're like, okay, this is working. We just have to, in order for us to really see some major results and more quickly, is that you have to be more consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
So then she upped her video content creation to about 1 video a week. And that, did you do 1 video a week first or 2?
I think I did 1 a week, but
Yeah.
this is for the listener right now. This is something I didn't have cameras. I didn't have special equipment. I literally only had my cell phone.
Yep.
So that was the first couple of years of my channel, is just like inconsistently using a cell phone, and then got consistent still using a cell phone. So I never even jumped to a place of like, I need to have everything before I start. I was just like, oh yeah, I just need to record something and get it out there because people do like it. Because when these women approached us, we at first were like, I mean, people are seeing it. We have views, we have comments, but we haven't talked to them or met them. But hearing them and seeing that, we were like, okay, we've tapped into something. Like, okay, so now we just have to take it more seriously. And it's very good too for both of us, because having Olivia kind of give me that guidance and say, no, this is no, you have to take it seriously. Like, what are you going to do? Get on or get off the pot. Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I want to be on it. I like it. I want to do more of this. And so, yeah, I did one a week, and they were not great videos. They were actually
okay. So tell us about that, because this is one of the things I want to just pause on that you just said that I think is so important. Is you had your cell phone, and they were not great videos to start, but you still did it. And that's one of the like huge tenets that we preach here at She Sells, is like, you always have what you need to get started. And so talk to us about some of these early videos. I think this is just helpful for context, because people see you now and they're like, you look like professional vloggers, right? And you've got it all in place, but that's not how it started. So take us to take us back to the painful memories of the first videos.
Yeah, we're going to dig real deep. Okay. Because it hurt. So I started with a cell phone, which really, I think then was a 7, probably like an iPhone 7, if that dates us a little bit. Because, cell phones are very like they do way more. Yeah. So I always recorded facing my phone, like I could see myself in frame. Right. Okay. And I didn't even have a tripod. This is so embarrassing, but I did it, and it's real. I sat my phone on top of boxes that propped against a cup or something, right?
Oh, I've done that. I've done that.
Yeah. Well, we're actually using like boxes now, but I mean, for different reasons, but that's how it started. I didn't have the fancy equipment, and I had to get in front of some lighting. So I was like, I have a window. Let me just get in front of my window. And so that's really how it started. And I didn't even I had a Mac desktop, but I didn't know how to edit on that. I had no knowledge of iMovie, period, the end, nothing. I was like, I'll record it, and Olivia helped me edit. So having someone that like has your back and knows what you want to do and is really in it with you, Olivia, I was like airdropping things to her, and she was editing them and uploading them to my channel. So I didn't even know how to do that. That's how like basic it was. And I remember saying to myself all the time, I need to figure out how to do this. So she would tell me something every week. Okay, well, try this first, right? And master that. Okay, once you master that, you can add something else to your plate. Because if she threw everything at me, I would not be where I'm at right now. I would be so overwhelmed and still trying to struggle to like be the perfect YouTuber. But she was like, just master this first and then master that. So that's really where it started. And then my first big purchase was $100 ring light off of Amazon.
Yeah. Well, I just love hearing how it started and how it was just step by step, because my brain is like that. Like if it feels too overwhelming, especially with technology, it's just like I shut down. I can't. But so knowing that you did it sequentially and step by step is so helpful. So tell us about what happened when you started. So you upped the frequency, you started doing weekly videos. Like what sort of a business impact did you see, and how long did it take?
Well, that's a good question as well. And so I noticed the frequency and the impact through really having a CTA, so a call to action in every video, where I led people to a VIP community group on Facebook. Okay. So I talked to my ideal client, right? I really had this avatar of this woman I'm speaking to. And so I was like, hey, if you're watching this video right now, like you have to be a VIP of mine, right? Get in the description, join that community, and you'll be able to see more behind the scenes, and I can give you more detail on products. And so every video, that's what I did. And people were joining this group. And then I was able to drop my website, and I was able to convert them into shoppers. And so they bought cosmetics from me. And that right there, I was like, I have now clients in random states that I never have even touched foot in. And they're buying hundreds of dollars from me, like at a drop of a hat. And they only have watched my YouTube content. They don't know me. They don't know my family. Like they don't like, am I a real person? Like, they're just like, I watched your video. It's super helpful. I want all these products you use. And I'm like, great, let's get them to you. And I would just really nourish them and build a relationship with that person.
Well, and what I love about that too, just a couple things I want to pull out that I'm taking away. I mean, one is just the kind of the steps, right? So at the end of the video, always having the call to action, but I always think about it kind of like, it's building a relationship, right? We get in this weird mode of thinking with online stuff. I don't know about YouTube, but I get every single day, like, especially on LinkedIn, like people who are, hey, nice to meet you, buy my stuff. Hey, nice to meet you. Can we form a partnership? And it's like, whoa, I don't know you. Hold on, like slow down. And so having that sequential, like, you like this video, join my community. Then when they're in the community, and what I like about that is you're getting them off the social platform where you don't control the algorithm as much, right? And you're getting them into more of a controlled environment where I would imagine you're ultimately working to get them on your email list and then as customers, right? So you're controlling the flow. Right. But I love the relationship building, the digital relationship building. And then too, just tying in, Olivia's advice from the very beginning of people need to know you, and seeing how now these people who are far removed from you geographically are ordering hundreds of dollars of things worth of product from you because they trust you. So here's what I would I love that backstory. And what I want to talk about now, which I think for anyone who's looking to build and scale their YouTube channel, like 10,000 subscribers can sound like a lot, especially when you're first starting, but it's so exciting to me. And I want to know, like, what's the step? How does somebody go? Maybe they're just trying to go to their first 1,000. Maybe they're trying to go to 100,000. But like, let's talk about that first 0 to 10. What are some of the steps they need to take to get there to that first, what feels like probably like their first big benchmark?
I would say is they want to tap into making searchable content. So the reason why Amber was so successful in the beginning is because she made content around certain techniques and certain products. So whatever industry you may be in, creating searchable content, like knowing what your pain points are for your avatar, knowing what they want, knowing what they're actually searching for is so important, because when you think about YouTube, you have to know that it is the #2 search engine in the world, right after Google. It's owned by Google. And now even when you Google, the first 2 things that always pop up when you Google something is videos.
Yeah.
So just knowing what your person is looking for is going to really help you gain those first 100 subscribers and beyond, right? Because they're going to be searching. A lot of times people see YouTubers and they see YouTubers after they've built the platform. And so they're vlogging, they're talking about what they ate in the day, all of this like fun, like more personal things, but that's not how they grew their platform. That is something that you can grow to, but you have to start by making searchable content in your niche and really position yourself as an expert in that field, so that people are like, okay, people come to Amber specifically because they know that she's going to teach them how to do different techniques with her makeup, or these are the best products to achieve this look. So making searchable content is going to be the first step to really growing your channel.
Okay, so how do we, and that's so helpful, how do we know what people are searching for? Are there tools that we can use to figure that out?
Yes. So there's a couple tools that we love to use, and that's Google Keywords. If you are looking for more trends and tent poles, and that is just things that happen seasonally, or if there's any events and things like that may happen in your industry, you can look at Google Trends and it'll show you like, okay, this is about when people are searching for it. So let's take it, for instance, it's almost Halloween, at the time of this recording. And so you can look at Google Trends, and if you type in Halloween makeup, just say we're talking about Amber, Halloween makeup looks, you can see when they have a graph on there which will show you about the time that people really start searching for that topic. So that's a great way to find trends and tent poles and things like that, seasonal things. But then Google Keywords is another thing that you can use. Another thing is when you go into YouTube, in the search bar, if you type in like how to whatever, like whatever is in your industry, that drop down words will populate at the bottom, and that will tell you exactly what people have searched for. So that's a good way to kind of see what people are searching for, is just to go to YouTube and type in, like, say if you are a nutritionist or you're in health and beauty health field, and you're like, how to do a certain workout, like start typing things in that you kind of deal with, and then you can see what people typed in around that subject. So that's another way you can kind of find out what people are actually searching for. And the last thing I would ask is, if you have clients right now, interview them, figure out some of the pain points they might have. Ask them, like, if people DM you asking for questions, those are, if they asked you a question, that's a good video because someone wanted that information. Yeah. Another last thing is, find people that are in your industry that are doing well on YouTube and go look in their comments. Go look at what type of videos they're making, and also read their comments, because if there was something that creator left out, or people still had questions about, or if they asked that creator, like, but how do you do this? Then that's a great video for you to make and really capitalize off. Okay, somebody wants to know this answer. So that's just some of the ways that you can find searchable content.
That's so good. Oh my, I love how tactical that is. And it's like, when you do it that way, you should never be at a loss of ways of content ideas to create, which I think is one of the biggest pain points for people too, is like, how do I keep coming up with new ideas? Yep. So then so I want to get like tactical with this here. So with the keywords from the searchable content, where do those go? Do we need to title our videos with those keywords? Do they go in the description? Are they hashtags? Do they go everywhere? Like, is there a method to the madness?
Yeah. So yeah, on YouTube, there's 3 places that the platform scrubs to serve your content to people. And so that's your title. So you want to make sure your keywords is in your title. You also want to make sure your keywords is in your description area. That's another way to put your keywords in. Also your tags. There are tags on YouTube. So you want to make sure your tags are anything that's around your subject, any keywords that really delve with your subject, you can put them in tags. And then just making sure your channel is optimized. So in YouTube, once you create your channel, you have an about section. Make sure people know exactly what your channel is about. And so you can also have keywords and tags in there. So when people are searching for content, or another thing that YouTube does is, if someone watches a specific content, then they suggest videos to you to watch after you've watched that content. So in order for YouTube to suggest your content, it needs to be tagged properly, titled, a great description, and then your channel needs to be like, if you have a how-to channel, or if you have a beauty channel, like most likely if they're watching beauty content, then they will serve a beauty channel to you next, because you've optimized your channel in that way.
Okay, this is so helpful. And now I have a very selfish question that will hopefully serve somebody else who's listening. So if you've been, let's just say in theory, you've been creating a lot of video content, but you haven't been going in and optimizing it and doing all the keywords. If you go back and fix it up, does that still help? Or is it like,
yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Asking for a friend.
I'm sure a lot of anybody listening right now is probably thinking that exact same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And it even comes to like people, and another thing that I didn't mention is just really having a great thumbnail, so it kind of stops people in the scroll. But one of the things you can do with your thumbnail, if you put out a video and it's just not performing as well as you thought it should, or you thought it would, then like you said, you can always go back to really like tweak your tags, tweak the title. Another great tool that we use is TubeBuddy. And that is a Google extension. And that gives you a lot of ideas for keywords, tags, titles, because what you can do is you can put in what you're thinking that you're going to title your video, and it'll give you like, okay, is this excellent? It gives you excellent, good, poor, fair, whatever your title is, kind of a scale. But then it will also show you other videos and how they are performing with the same title or similar title. So you can kind of look at their stuff and see, okay, this, you can see exactly how many views they got on this channel, on that video with this title and those tags. And what TubeBuddy also allows you to do, which we love this feature, is that if you find a video that is, similar to yours or has some of the same keywords as yours, you can go into their videos and just like copy all of their tags. Copy all of their tags, and it allows you to put it, copy and paste it to yours. And then obviously you want to make sure they don't have anything that
They're not
like
tagging their personal name
or their
Right.
personal tags.
Yeah.
So you can take those out, but that's a great tool because then this video has already performed really well. So the likeliness of yours performing really well is really high because you've gotten some of those same tags that they used.
I have a tip on this too, since Olivia brought up thumbnails and we're talking about titling.
Yeah.
It's very simple to go, I just want to name it really fun things. Like, I just want to like come up with a fun name that's not, you have to think, I know we're using simple, we're saying that, and we're talking about keywords, but you have to really dumb it down to what would you type in Google realistically in your real life to find a solution to what you're, facing. And the thumbnail is really, that's where you can kind of almost put catchy words, right? Just something fun. But that right there, the title and everything else Olivia just hit on is, it's dumb it down to who is typing in Google.
Yeah, very basic.
Yeah, very basic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's so helpful too, to think, just to remember, like, it's a search engine. And so what do you type in a search engine? How do I do this? How do I do that? Yada, yada, right? Like, how do I make better YouTube videos? So that makes total sense. So is there anything, and I love that, by the way, Tube Buddy, you said, right?
Yes.
Is the tool. Okay.
Yes.
I love a good tool. That was like gold. So thank you. Anything else that's like really important or different from what we've talked about already on that journey from the first 0 to 10,000 subscribers?
Yes. So YouTube looks for having 35 or more videos as a content creator on the platform, because a lot of people will start a YouTube channel, right? And they're going to put a couple out there and then they're like, oh, I'm done with this. I'll wait later. Like, I was very inconsistent at first. It's the assumption that you'd put one video out, it's going to go viral. It's going to be the hit. That's going to make me, right? That's not the case. So really just being super consistent, because then YouTube looks at you as a real content creator for their platform, and they're going to push people to your content when it is fully optimized. They will know like where to send people to find your videos. So that's so 35 or more videos. So be as consistent and show up as much as you can. One video is like great, but 2 is like, if you can handle it, do 2.
2 a week.
A week.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A week. Yes. Okay. Weekly. And then from there, once you have 40 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers, then you can have 4,000
hours.
4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. Y'all are probably like 40. Wow.
I was
40.
excited. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I think I'm there. Okay.
Yeah. 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So if you're writing that in your notebook, then that's when oh my goodness, like I can then be optimized on my channel and get paid for being on the platform. So I remember that happened to me, and Olivia was checking my analytics and looking at everything. She was like, Amber, you can do the Google AdSense and you can set everything up through your account and know that, okay, now the money can go to this location once I'm earning. And I had no idea money was sitting there. She was like, you have $100 sitting here. And I was like, oh, $100.
But that's so fun. Like 100 unexpected dollars.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, oh my gosh, I have made it. Right. Like that was so insane to me that, right. It's a dream. It's a wish. It's a goal. You've showed up, you've been super consistent, and then boom, it's like, oh my gosh, the fruit of my labor is actually here. And the more I show up and the more I do, it just gets better and better. So those are some goals that you probably want to write down on a notebook, like as a YouTuber. Yes.
That's so fun though. Right.
Yes.
And thinking about, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? So thinking about with what you're doing, like how can you create additional streams and flows of income coming in? And it starts with $100, but that's something. And then it keeps compounding and building from there as well. So this is amazing. The other thing I think would be probably the biggest question for a lot of our listeners is just confidence on camera. I would love to take a moment for that, because that's something I get asked about a lot, and people are probably tired of Elyse's spiel. So I want to hear from like pros. You two as pros, what are some of your biggest tips for being confident in front of the camera?
Well, it's this is good. I'm glad we're hitting this too, because our community, they are constantly comparing themselves. It's a good thing to watch your videos back, not to judge what you did, just to be aware, right, of your video content, but to also be okay with who you are. And to be okay with your voice, to be okay with your look, to be okay with where you are, because that is, as humans, that's a very natural thing to, cut yourself down, right? Is to be like, I look ugly. My hair is awful. My background sucks. Like, you constantly are saying things as a new content creator because you're in that judgment zone. You're like, you judge yourself versus what someone else has. And that phrase, like, grass is greener on the other side, is not true. Yeah. So really just win in your lane. So our thing that we're constantly telling our community, and what we want your listeners to hear right now, is be good with you and show up as you, not anyone else, and do things that make you feel really good for yourself. So if you need to be super quiet and zen out an hour before you need to hit record so you're more relaxed, do it, right? If it takes you 5 hours to record the content because you're nervous and keep deleting, okay, but keep where you are now, keep it raw and where you started, because that's not where you're going to be in 5-6 months. That's not where you're going to be in a year or two. You're going to evolve, you're going to change, but you have to start, because people are going to see that elevation too, of like where you were to where you are now. And I think that's really inspiring to someone else that's viewing that content, is that, oh, you're real. You're not perfect, Yeah. So just be good with who you are. And yeah, I mean, I know that's kind of not as probably like this big tip or advice, but really, I think that goes with life, because we we're like, our neighbor has this, their car is so nice, or man, I just watched this YouTube video and man, I just need everything they have. That's not actually what's going to make you successful. Yeah, right. Yeah. You have to show up and use your voice and be okay with you, and know that you're only showing up for that one person watching you, not actually millions, which millions are watching you on YouTube. But just remember, it's one person, and talk with her like you're in a coffee shop. You're sitting in a coffee shop, or you're sitting in her living room, and y'all are just hanging out. And that allows you to kind of just like be more who you are, right? Be yourself.
Well, and I think, go ahead.
I was going to say, my one tip for a person who's just starting out and needing that confidence, speaking from an introvert, because I was the person who told all of my clients to like, you need to do video. It wasn't just Amber. I told everybody that, right? Yeah. Just because I saw the impact that it just had for a lot of my clients. But then when it came for my time to get on video, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like to talk. I'm an introvert. But I would say, for that person who is like, this is not me, I don't like to talk, I don't want to be seen on camera, all of those things, is that for me, the first videos that I didn't listen to, right? I didn't allow myself to judge myself, right? Just put the content out, people could give you feedback about it if you want to listen to that. But I didn't watch it back, because I didn't want to hear the sound of my voice, honestly. It was just, I
get that. I was the same way.
Yeah. So I was like, don't listen, just make the content, put it out there. And then as you start to evolve, as you start to be more comfortable in front of the camera, you start to build confidence, because this is the thing. The confidence doesn't just come just when you decide to get on camera and do video. The confidence comes in the doing. So the more you do, the more confident you're going to be, the more, comfortable. One of the things that we teach our women in our mastermind is that before they get in front of the camera to even make the content, like, do your research about the topic you're going to talk about. Have your outline. Write a script out. You don't have to write word for word, but maybe bullet points of what you're going to say. Because this is the thing. The more prepared you are to deliver the information that you're going to give out on the video, the more comfortable and confident you feel in actually putting the information out there. Because if you're like stuttering all over the place, you're like, and this, I say a lot, but if you're just all over the place with your content, that's going to be nerve-wracking as well, because you're like, then you're going to start saying, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. This doesn't sound right. And it's because you're just not prepared to deliver the content, because you haven't done that pre-work.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great distinction to make of saying, it may not even be a self-image thing. It's just like a preparation thing. So what do you
Mhm.
need to feel confident? And then
Yeah.
to your point too, that the confidence comes with time and with practice. And the
Mhm.
first live stream I did, I think I was sweating buckets, and I think I actually drank some wine beforehand. I was so nervous. I was like, oh, I just got to calm my nerves. And then of course it was like, nobody was watching. So we get all psyched up in our heads about, I'm going to mess up in front of everybody. And there's nobody at the beginning,
Mhm.
which is fine. But I think all of that is so important, and kind of bringing it, home with, Amber, what you shared about like just being good with you off camera is the work. Like, I think that's the work, and that translates on camera too. So
Oh, absolutely.
you are phenomenal. I am so grateful to both of you. And I got so many ideas today for my own channel. And so I really appreciate that. And you're both just a wealth of knowledge and information and generosity. So please tell everybody, where can they go to find out more, where can they go to connect with you and work with you, and just tell them where to go next from here.
Yes. Well, go to our website, and that is createcontentacademy.com. And on the website, you'll find all the things that we offer for you. And also we have this amazing community to just like get your foot in the door and hang out with us even further before you are like, I'm ready for all the programs to get in with you. But we do coach with a great mastermind program, but we also have amazing self-paced programs where you're like, I got it. I just want to watch some modules and keep moving, right?
Yeah.
But we have an amazing community where we actually do want to inspire and equip you. So head over to createcontentacademy.com.
Yep.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you both so much for everything you shared here. And again, just for your generosity and how tactical this was. This is amazing. So,
I love these aha moments that you're having.
yes.
Right? This is so good.
I'm like, gonna go download TubeBuddy, gonna go check my watch time, gonna go do all, and like, gonna go back, optimize everything,
Yes,
because there's so
yes,
much power in this.
yes.
So thank you ladies so much. And everyone for listening today. Thank you so much. Go out there, connect with Amber and Olivia online, check out their programs, get involved, and go create some amazing video content and have fun with it. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in to She Sells Radio, and I will see you next week with our next episode. Bye for now.